Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to the channel if you are new here. Today is day 5 of what I call Witchy Week 2024, and this will be going up on November 1st, so very fittingly on Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos. Our topic is messages from the other side, hearing from a passed on loved one. So we're going to try to connect to someone who is already on the other side in your family today, and we're going to see what they have to say to you. So without further ado, let us pick our piles to choose our readings from. So we're going to shuffle from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. So ancestors, passed on, loved ones, for my different piles. Could you lead us to 3 different cards that help us pick piles? Thank you. Okay, one for sure wanted to pop out. So I'm taking that one for number 1, of course. Actually, I'm going to move the spider just a tad. There we go. And then number 2. I'm feeling this one for number 3. And let's unveil the cards together. There we go. So for pile number 1s, your oracle card today to choose from is Enchantment. We have a mermaid. Very beautiful. So that's for pile 1. For pile 2, in the middle, we have Freedom, with a woman holding a, it looks like a dove, or it could be a pigeon, but. And last but not least, for pile number 3 over here on the right, we have Shadow Self. Interesting. With a woman looking up at a crow. So just for a quick refresher, pile 1 is Enchantment, pile 2 is Freedom, and pile 3 is Shadow Self. But of course, you are always welcome to pause on this part of the video if you need more time to decide which pile you would like read for you. But either way, whatever your method, whenever you're ready, you can drop down to the description box below and or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Click on the timestamp for your reading there, and I'll see you in our little chat about a message from a passed on loved one. Toodaloo. Hello there, my lovely pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading on Witchy Week Day 5 about a message from a passed on loved one. As you recall, the pile you chose was Enchantment here with the mermaid. So right off the bat, we're going to set your pile leader over here to the left next to the candle. Well, and the spider as well. And then we're going to draw your oracle cards on screen right now. So, passed on loved one that would like to connect to pile number 1. Could you help draw us to the right cards to explain what you want to say to them and to identify yourself? Thank you. Okay, mystical. Ready right off the bat. Same thing with these other cards. Thank you. Passed on ancestor that is reaching out, or friend. Definitely drawn to that one. And last but not least, we have the Citadel Oracle to use today, which will help us glean more about who they are. Okay. That was pretty quick. I want to say whoever's coming forward for you, pile number 1, they almost feel like someone who is very either quick-witted or they were quick of tongue. I get like air sign vibes. We'll see more later, especially when I draw the tarot cards about maybe their astrological signs of who is coming through for you. But I definitely feel like whoever this ancestor or passed on loved one is, they were someone who was very good at speaking and or like quick of mind, quick of tongue, witty, maybe even to like kind of a funny comedic extent. That's what I'm feeling, at least initially here from intuitive messages. But revealing the cards, we have, okay, so botanist, we have the element of earth with parenthood and legacy. Interesting. So it could have been someone who was a gardener who is coming through for you, pile number 1. Or someone you associate with, especially peonies, a lot. Because these are peonies, I believe, in this picture. set that there just for now. And then we have the Fire of Celestial, Sovereign Equality. Okay. A little bit of element of fire, and then also, yeah, celestial. 2, I think they were someone who came off as very regal. Like, not necessarily that they had a lot of money, pile number 1, but they were someone who they feel like they carried themselves very well, with a lot of grace and a lot of kind of like kingly or queenly energy. Like I said, that doesn't necessarily have to match up with their socioeconomic status, but even despite the amount of money they did or they didn't have in their life, they carried themselves very nobly, okay? And 2, I think they were someone who, because of the presence of mystical here, it could have been someone that was very spiritual, someone who maybe was into kind of the other side of spirituality. Like, I'm not necessarily saying like witchcraft or like paganism, or like it could have been, right? But someone who was in touch with the other side, someone who maybe even if you have abilities or gifts yourself, it's kind of perhaps genetically where it came down the line. Yeah, someone who was a bit mysterious, someone who was, as much as they carried themselves with that nobility and that grace, there was a feeling to them of a mysteriousness. Yeah. But at the same time, pile number 1, I'm also getting the feeling that this passed on loved one, they were never full of themselves. They were confident, and they knew themselves very well. And they liked themselves, at least near the end of, or by the time of all the lessons that they learned on Earth in the time that they lived, right? But they were never vain or egotistical about it, okay? So, to it, I think they might have been physically attractive as well, at least at some point in their life. I'm getting the vibes of someone who was very beautiful. I'm leaning towards feminine energy, pile number 1, that's coming forward here, or it could have been someone who was just more feminine energy aligned, you know, no matter what their sex or gender was. So, yeah. I almost get the sense of it being like a grandmotherly type figure as well. Someone who, because there's an imagery I'm seeing here from this person. It's like when you were young, they used to feed you like treats on the side, or like they would show you things that would blow your mind almost. Like, you know, sometimes an older adult in your life might try like a coin trick on you, like, oh, I'm going to pull a coin out of your ear or something like that. And as a kid, it just kind of blows your mind. But really, like, they're just trying to play a little bit of a funny trick on you, not in a mean-hearted way, but like, they would try to help you see the magic of life, and I think that's why there's such a presence of, you know, like the card Enchantment and Mystical. It's like they saw the magic of life, even beyond, like, spirituality, like I was saying. I think they might have been kind of a spiritual person, but at the same time, it was like they knew how to reach out to younger people like you and point out things like, hey, look at this plant over here that does this really cool thing or grows this really awesome way, or, you know, here's a piece of candy I'll slip to you while your parents aren't looking. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like almost a mischievous kind of grandfatherly, but maybe leading more towards like grandmotherly energy is what's coming through pile number 1, okay? So that's the energy that's coming through for you today. I also want to draw your tarot cards on screen here, just to kind of get the full image of what's coming through. Definitely someone who is very good with flowers and gardening, like I said too before. Even here we have at the beginning, or excuse me, the top of the first card you had was, I believe those are pansies technically at the top of Enchantment here. So maybe you associate them with pansies and or peonies, those types of flowers. Ancestor, passed on, loved one that's coming through for pile 1. Could you give me around 5 cards that explains more about what you're wanting to say to them? Thank you. Okay, Queen of Wands. Yeah, that was that confident energy I was telling you about. Like, they're very regal, pile number 1, and they were very confident and assured of themselves, but in a very, very good, honed way. Never egotistical, never vain. And then number 2, we have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, see, look at all these queens. I'm pretty sure for most of you, pile 1, this is a feminine energy coming through. This feels like grandmotherly, motherly, aunt, great-grandmother, 3 of Wands reversed, okay. And then we have the 6 of Cups reversed, okay. And apologies for, I cover some cards here just because of the space I've got, but you can always rewind back in the video if you want to peek at them again. We have, and then Judgment reversed, okay. Yeah, so pile number 1, what they're wanting to say to you today, let's take a look at your tarot cards. You know, I feel like the main message coming through, although there could be more, is they want you to feel more confident about something. And I think that's why this specific passed on loved one is coming through for you, pile number 1, is because they want you to embody more of that quiet, confident energy that they had in their lifetime, looking to their example and bring it into your own life. Because I feel like they're saying there's a part of you that doesn't believe in yourself enough when it comes to attaining your goals, especially with the 3 of Wands reversed here in the middle as the core card. That's the card that's all about ambition, making plans. Well, not even making plans. It's about actually taking action on plans for the future. But reversed, it's like you're kind of hesitant to go forward on something. You're like, I'm not sure. Should I go for it? Should I do it? And so, I mean, message number 1, pile 1, is if there's anything in your life right now that you've been hemming and hawing over, especially at like a big project or a dream of yours, that 3 of Wands reversed is telling me that this passed on loved one wants to tell you to just go for it, okay? They want you, like I said, to embody their same energy of that confidence, that Queen of Wands energy of, I am internally secure about my passions and about who I am. And 2, with the Queen of Cups next to it, the Queen of Cups is similar, but on the emotional end of things and with relationships with other people. I'm emotionally secure about the things that I want and the dreams that are in my heart. And I want to move forward, and I'm going to full speed ahead, reach for my dreams, things like that. They really want to encourage you, because I feel like there's a part of this ancestor or passed on loved one of yours that they were not able to attain a dream of theirs during their lifetime. And rather it be because of external circumstances or because they didn't take the risk themselves, no matter the reason why they didn't go for it, they regretted it a lot. And it's like they still had a really good life otherwise, pile 1, but at the same time, they had that regret. And so they're trying to encourage you to go for it because they don't want you to have the same regret that they did, is what I'm feeling from this person from the other side for you. And very interesting. We have the 6 of Cups reversed and Judgment reversed. One moment. I'm going to look at those. Yeah, they're saying there's something about you're holding yourself back from the next level with Judgment reversed. And there's also a part of this regarding your past with the 6 of Cups reversed. Sometimes the 6 of Cups reversed can mean a message regarding like bad childhood memories or bad childhood, or it can mean something to do like negative with like siblings or with family, right? I don't know if maybe you've been having a little bit of a family kerfuffle recently. That kind of is the energy of the 6 of Cups reversed sometimes when it comes out, in which case I do want to just draw. We have a lot of time left, so I'm going to just draw more cards on maybe different messages that this ancestor passed on loved one has for you. But yeah, there is some aspect there that they want to talk about with the 6 of Cups reversed. And 2, when we look back at the botanist, right, it talks about parenthood and legacy. And it's very interesting because the hands in this card are holding the flower. Same thing with the hands of the person in the 6 of Cups here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'll flip it around for you. But she's literally holding like 2... I can't tell if they're roses. They almost look like they could be peonies as well. But they're the 2 red flowers in her hands. And it's like there's something that you were meant to get from this person, either in like inheritance or in terms of like traits or things that were passed down. Maybe there's been a bit of an argument over it in your family recently. Let me draw some extra cards for you, pile number 1, on that topic. Ancestor passed on loved one for pile 1 that's coming through for them. Could you give us around 3 cards that explains more about what's this legacy past 6 of Cups reversed energy about? Thank you. Okay, there's 2. What do they want to say about that? And then I'm going to draw, let's see, that one as well. So first we have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. Seeds for the future. The Knight of Wands reversed. It was something... Oh, and the Tower reversed. Yeah, okay. So pile 1, regarding that family energy, that family maybe kerfuffle that's come about, there's something about planting seeds for the future, being unable to take action on your passions, or unable, I should say, and the Tower reversed is like avoiding disaster. So intuitively, I'm going to tap in intuitively to this passed on loved one. 1 second. They're saying something about a chain, like, and chains can mean either, like, something holding you back, or it can also mean literally, like, a passed down, maybe, like, necklace chain, something to that effect. A necklace. A chain. Very interesting, pile 1. Could also mean like a chain of things passed down as well, like genetic traits, or an item that was supposed to be passed down. Very interesting. And avoiding disaster. You know, what's really coming forward, pile 1, is that I think there's something of theirs that you know was meant for you, or you would like to have, that was not passed down to you. And it's like you might have known that they intended it for you, but some kind of kerfuffle came about, or you're afraid there will be, and it's like you're afraid to take action on that thing that you're passionate about getting with that Knight of Wands reversed, because you're trying to avoid family disaster with the Tower reversed. I feel like it's like you don't want to ruffle any feathers, you don't want to upset anybody, but at the same time, it's like you kind of know that that was meant for you. And once again, like I said, there's something about a chain. So it could be, say, a necklace. It could be, say, some sort of, I don't know. I'm hearing rosary as well. For those of you who are, maybe this passed on loved one was Catholic, and or you might be, like rosary beads, something like that. And so they're acknowledging that that has come about. And then I'm going to ask an extra question as well, pile 1, about what is it that they want you to know about that situation. I have a feeling intuitively that they're encouraging you to ask for it from whoever got it instead of you. But I just want to make sure, and I'm going to draw some extra cards. Passed on loved one who is talking about this chain or this thing supposed to be passed down. Could you expand more? What action do you want them to take with that situation? Thank you. What do you want them to know about that situation? Thank you. The Temperance, moderation, and balance. Okay, things must be fair. Think about fairness and moderation and things being balanced. 6 of Swords. Something about moving something with the 6 of Swords, because that card is the energy of moving from one place to another, or leaving someplace. And then we have the Page of Pentacles reversed, okay, which indicates a need to explore something material more. Yeah, so pile 1, like I was saying intuitively before, I felt like they were encouraging you to ask for it or try to regain whatever this was. For sure now with these cards popping out, I think that is just a reiteration of what I was hearing before, that the actions they want you to take regarding what was supposed to be passed down, or the thing that they want for you, is first focus on, well, what is fair and what is balanced, with temperance, because that's all about moderation, right? Things need to be fair. Things need to be equally distributed, right? And then there's something about you needing to, maybe you feel kind of inexperienced about asking for things or standing up for yourself, especially when it comes to inheriting material, earthly things, especially because the Page of Pentacles is the earth suit, okay, which is the cards of, career and finances and like physical objects, things around us. Like I said, it could be a necklace or a rosary, something like that. And it's like they want you to be willing to flip that Page of Pentacles reversed upside down and explore more about how to get this thing back, or how to retrieve this thing. And two, there's something about moving it with the Six of Swords, moving it from where it is now to someplace safer. So I don't know if it maybe ended up in a place where it's not safe, or it's like with someone that you know is not going to take care of it. But in either case, it's like this passed on loved one wants you to reach out for it and to move this item of theirs, okay? They want you to, not so much in the aspect of like, like it's not like they're not saying that you don't deserve it, pile number one, but it's almost like a safety type thing. I feel like they think it would be safer in your hands if you were to keep it. And that's why they're encouraging you, especially, although it feels like too, maybe they intended for you to have it because of that Seven of Pentacles before, which is like they planted seeds for the future. They had an intention at one point of it ending up in your hands anyways, it feels like. Yeah. So they really, really want you to... And that kind of just harkens back to that confidence thing we were talking about. They want you to feel confident to ask for the things that you know are right for you. Kind of like the lesson that they learned in their lifetime, pile number one, of, asking for what they need and being confident in oneself and having that graceful nobility of self-respect and making sure that other people respect you as well. Of course, it's kind of a two-way street, people have to be willing to respect others. But at the same time, there are things that you can do to make, to draw boundaries in the sand and say, hey, this is the line I draw in the sand, and this is my ultimatum, and this is politely what I want. Of course, it doesn't mean necessarily that things are going to go 100% your way, but they're encouraging you to really step into that power of that quiet. It's almost a feminine energy type of confidence and power, right? Like I was saying, that queenly energy that kept coming out earlier in the reading, with the energy of this person that is passed on. So one piece of advice, too, is to really think about whoever this is to you. What were they like in their lifetime? And especially, too, if you knew them as a child, which I have a feeling a lot of you did know, whoever is reaching out to you, right? Remember how they interacted with others and the ways that you looked up to them, and try to emulate that example when it comes to this situation, and in all situations in life too. They're saying there's a lot to be learned in emulating what they did. Okay, and part of the reason they were in your life was to teach you about that graceful, queenly nobility of character, of carrying oneself very, politely, but also strong feminine energy. Okay. Yeah. Very, very beautiful person coming through for you, pile number one. I also get the feeling of a gentleness and a softness to them, maybe even in the way that they spoke. It's just that regal energy all over. I keep getting that feeling of like queenliness out of whoever this is. Very beautiful energy. I mean, even too, like the Judgment card has like an Egyptian god on it. Egyptian nobility, right? And then... yeah, it just, then we had all those queens earlier as well. And that's, just to reiterate, they're reminding me, they're saying again and again, it would be best safe with you, whatever this object or thing is. Okay. So that is what I will leave you with today, my wonderful pile number 1. Thank you so much for tuning in for day 5 of Witchy Week 2024. If you liked this reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. A wonderful Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, if you're watching this the day it's released. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile 1. Hello there, lovely Pile number 2. Welcome today to your Witchy Week 2024 reading on messages from the other side. Basically a message from a passed on loved one. As you recall, the card used to pick your pile today was the Freedom card with the woman holding the dove in her hand. Very gorgeous card. I get the feeling that whoever's coming through was good with animals. That is the first intuitive message coming through. And then, of course, I also want to first draw our oracle cards. And then we'll draw the tarot cards later to connect with this passed on loved one. So, passed on loved one for pile 2. Could you help guide us to the right cards to explain who you are and what your message is? Thank you. Okay, well, there's one for sure. Get the feeling that whoever this was also was very flexible or acrobatic. Maybe they were in gymnastics, pile number 2. Good with animals. Some kind of sport that they did with flexibility. Okay, there's one for sure. There we go. And last but not least, from the Wild Harmonic Oracle. I get the feeling they also had, okay, that one for sure just is popping out, so we'll take that one. Okay. I get the feeling too, pile number 2, that they were kind of long-limbed. This person, not necessarily tall. They didn't have to be very tall in height, but I get the feeling that it's like they have very long legs. It keeps coming forward for some reason. And once again, too, like I'm seeing something about them being in like gymnastics or acrobatics, or there's just a grace to them where they partook in some kind of sport that required a lot of like flexibility and grace. Too, I think like yoga, or I think like, what's another one? Ballet, maybe. Something like that. Dance. Something to that effect. Someone very graceful. Long-legged. Or at least they had long legs for their height, right? Let's unveil the cards too before we get too far. But that was just what was popping out intuitively at first. We have Earth of Fire, Unfolding Path. Okay, so a little bit of heat and earth. And then secondly, we have, the tailor with the element of water, attention to detail and pride. Yeah, someone who was very, very good with their hands in terms of, it could have literally mean that they were a tailor, pile number 2. I know sometimes that's passed down in families, like my family, for example, there were a few tailors, right? And or like they could have been a seamstress, they could have been even just at home if they didn't do it for a business. They were very good with their hands and sewing and yarn craft, mending things, that kind of, or embroidery, something along those lines is what's coming through for them. And I'm not getting any specific gender yet. We'll see. Sometimes tarot will reveal more about that, but, and then the other one that was just kind of flew out was spirit. Beautiful. Yes, definitely someone good with animals, like I was saying before as well. Very good with animals. I feel like they might have had a lot of pets in their lifetime that you knew them. Or maybe if you didn't necessarily know them in your lifetime, your family kind of knows of this person in your ancestry, having known a lot of pets or had a lot of pets, right? very quiet and contemplative. I feel like you have a really, for those of you, this is an ancestor that was, or a passed on loved one that was alive when you were alive. I feel like there's some sort of vivid memory you have of them sitting down somewhere, is another thing that's really popping out clearly from this person. And I feel like they were often at a desk. Could have been a desk job. That, or like they were just the very quiet, contemplative type, like I was saying, very into their hobbies, very into thinking a lot. Like it feels like they thought more than they said. But at the same time, even though they were a quiet person, pile number 2, they were very passionate and very fiery, especially like we were talking about with the Taylor, attention to detail and pride. And then we have fire here with Earth of Fire from the Wild Harmonic Oracle that popped out. They were someone who was, you know, they weren't ambitious, it feels like, in the traditional way we think of, like, oh, they wanted the best house and they wanted the best car, insert, you know, material earthly things here. They seem to have been ambitious in the way of honing their craft for personal satisfaction and for the sake of being of benefit to their family and their friends. Like, I get the feeling that they were really good at, say, cooking, or really good at, like I was saying, like tailoring, seamstress, mending work, embroidery, etc. But it's like they, even though they could have, I mean, if they had taken it forward as a business, especially like more prominently, like they were on the level of like really high level people that were known in that area of their hobby, but it's like they never really stood out too much is what's coming forward. Even though like you ever met someone that cooks really, really, really well and you're like, oh my God, like their food is restaurant quality. Like I wish they had a restaurant because then more people in the world would be able to taste how good that they cook. This is the energy I'm getting off of this person for you, pile 2. It's like they could have been probably like really well known if they'd put themselves out there more with their craft, but to me it feels like they didn't really want the star quality of what they did shining. It was more of, they thought of it in the way of, how do I best benefit the people around me, my loved ones, rather than how do I benefit myself. So there's an element too of selflessness coming out with this person. Very beautiful energy, pile 2, whoever this was. Very, very intelligent too. Maybe not necessarily in like the traditional book smart way, but it feels like they were a jack of all trades. Like they just were one of those people where they could pick up something very quickly, and they were very good at it very quickly as well. Yeah, good energy coming out here. And then I'm going to draw the tarot cards. Sorry, something else was coming through. I think for some of you this might be an aunt or an uncle of yours. Or a great aunt or uncle. That's kind of why I paused, because something about uncle and aunt was coming out here. Alright, so loved one that's passed on coming through for pile 2. Could you give us around 5 cards that explains more what it is you want to talk to them about today? Thank you. What do you want to talk to them about? Okay. Here we go. And that's 5. Let's unveil your tarot cards, pile 2. So first up we have the Queen of Wands. Beautiful. An inner confidence. Okay. Secondly, we have the 9 of Swords reversed. Okay. I think they want to relieve a worry of yours, pile 2, but we'll see what else pops out. They want you to feel better about something. Wheel of Fortune, yes. Okay, so good luck. Feeling better. 4 of Cups. Paying attention. And then last but not least, we have the Queen of Cups. Lots of queens. So I want to say for most of you, this is leaning towards feminine energy. Which doesn't necessarily mean this is a woman coming forward, but you do have 2 queens, all right? A lot of feminine energy coming forward in this reading. And so I want to say for most of you, this is a feminine ancestor of yours coming forward. So like I was saying before, I heard maybe uncles, aunts. Feels like an aunt to me of some sort, but it could just be any female energy relative that has passed on in your family. And or they kind of give off like an aunt-like energy. And yeah, like I was saying, what they want to talk to you about today, especially embodied by the Nine of Swords reversed, it's like they want you to feel more confident about something and less anxious about something next to the Queen of Wands here. And I feel like you've been worried about your luck in some area with the Wheel of Fortune here. And two, with the Four of Cups, it's like there's something coming or something that's around you that you haven't noticed yet that is going to alleviate that anxiety. And that's why they come forward today, is because they want to tell you, to make you feel better, saying, hey, wait a minute, the thing that you're worried about, the thing that you feel like has been knocking your confidence down, there's some good luck coming here with the Wheel of Fortune. It's just that you might not see it yet because of the Four of Cups. But it's something that's going to make you feel emotionally fulfilled deep inside here, with the Queen of Cups being the final card in at least the first tarot spread that's come out. So very interesting, pile number 2. So whatever it is you've been worried about lately, they really want to balm those worries for you. They want you to know that the tides are turning, and that's especially because of the Wheel of Fortune. Not only is it the card of good luck, especially when it comes out upright, but it's also the card of what goes up comes down and vice versa. So if it feels like a lot of things have been kind of turning for the worse recently in your life, like I was saying, what goes down must come up, and it's like they're telling you this karmic wheel of, yeah, things have been kind of maybe crappy for a while, just to put it like a blunt way. Now that wheel is turning, and it's like, okay, now there's a good turn of fortune. And I will ask some extra questions about what exactly it is that's coming your way, because I think like this first spread right here is more just a summary of kind of what messages they may wanted to have come through for you from this particular ancestor, passed on loved one of yours. So I am going to ask about that. Passed on loved one for pile 2. Could you tell me a little bit more about what's the good fortune coming their way that you want to alleviate their anxieties with? Could you give me around 3 cards maybe that explains more in detail? What's the good luck? We have the Three of Cups reversed. Okay, something to do with a social group or something bad that happened with a social group recently. The King of Wands. Okay, interesting. And then the Seven of Swords reversed. Yeah, it feels like there's been some sort of bad luck you had recently in terms of social groups or a friend group with the Three of Cups reversed, or there was like a social event that went wrong that you have been worried about or you're afraid is going to go wrong. It could be that this is like a future-oriented anxiety for you, pile number 2. And they're telling you that, you know, in the case of it being a social event that you're worried about, there's going to be good luck in that area. It's going to go well. But at the same time, too, if it's like a social group that maybe you had to leave, the good luck could be the meaning of, you know, things will be mended in that group, or it could be you find a new friend group if you've been feeling kind of lonely lately after maybe you left a prior friend group that wasn't working out so well. And then, too, what's interesting is the King of Wands next to the Seven of Swords reversed. I feel like the King of Wands is telling me that there's someone in that group that is a masculine energy, or at that social event who is a masculine energy, who is going to help make sure that things stay stable where they are. Because the Seven of Swords reversed is about, like, staying in... Or, I'm sorry. I was thinking of that as the Six of Swords. I was going to say it's about, like, staying in place. Reiterate that. Seven of Swords is usually about trickery or deception, but reversed, it's like a deception revealed. So reading it for that interpretation, sorry. For some reason I thought it was the Six of Swords. I don't know why, but reading it for that interpretation, it's like there's that masculine figure, the King of Wands, who typically I would say a King of Wands type person is someone who is charismatic, someone who is confident, someone who is creative or passionate about things, okay? So that's kind of just a marker for who this ancestor or this past and loved one is talking about, right? They're going to help reveal some sort of knowledge of what happened in that friend group that's going to help you. Because like I said, Seven of Swords reversed is about like revealing deception or trickery. Or if it's like a social event you're afraid is going to go wrong, like I said, well, of course it's going to go well. There's good luck in that area, but that masculine figure is going to help it go well in terms of, I almost feel like maybe you're afraid that there's someone that's going to be there that's going to ruin it, or like you're afraid that they're going to try to pull something, and that King of Wands figure is what's going to help kind of keep that at bay or combat that. And so that's why your past and loved one is saying it's going to go well with this social group situation with the Three of Cups reversed, because that supportive energy of that King of Wands coming forward, which, like I said, once again, I think it's a masculine energy, is going to help keep things stable and is going to help keep things honest to either move on from the group or make sure the event goes well, etc. However it exactly applies to you, pile number 2. But, yeah. Very interesting. See if there's any other messages popping forward for you. I also feel intuitively there's some message coming forward about you being stuck in some way. It's like you feel stuck. And intuitively they're telling me that's maybe why you were drawn to the Freedom card as your pile leader, was like you feel stuck in some way. I'm going to tap in intuitively here 1 second. The feeling I'm getting off of it is this past and loved one is saying you're so stuck in something that it makes you sick. Because I'm getting a feeling of nausea off you, pile 2. It almost feels like it's either like a job that you really dread, or maybe it is that social group we were talking about that you dread, and it's to the point where it makes you so anxious that it makes you nauseous, whatever this bad, stuck feeling is, or whatever this is. And they're wanting to help you free yourself from that stuck energy, is what they're telling me. So I think I will also draw 3 cards on that. I'm asking this past on loved one for advice in that area, because they keep saying like puking or vomiting. It's like it's like you want to get away from whatever this is that makes you feel so sick. Very, very odd. Like they're saying it's like, it's killing them. Like it's such drudgery. They can't stand it anymore. Yeah, I'm going to draw extra cards on that too, pile 2. So past and loved one for pile 2. Could you also give us 3 cards on advice for them to move on from whatever the thing that they're stuck from is? Thank you. What are they stuck on? How do they get away from it? How do they move on? Advice. The thing that makes them nauseous is the way that they talk about it. How do they move on? We have the 3 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, interesting. Something with teamwork, and then we have Judgment, and then we have the Knight of Swords taking action with the mind. Interesting. So whatever it is that you've been feeling stuck on recently, pile 2, especially something that maybe almost makes you feel nauseous with anxiety, is the feeling I'm getting off of this. They're saying There is a way forward away from whatever you're stuck from, but what it requires is for you to move up in some way, especially with Judgment here, using a logical idea with the Knight of Swords, taking action with the mind. Although it can also mean taking action with the way that we speak about things, and then the 3 of Pentacles reversed. It's almost like you need to ask for people to help you out of this, pile number 2. Because the 3 of Pentacles reversed is the energy of a lack of teamwork in some area, but what would move it up to the next level help you out of feeling so stuck and maybe even like so anxious and stressed that you're like nauseous about things. It's like you need to take action and speak up for yourself is what they're saying, or speak out and say, I need help. Like they're saying to swallow your pride. It's like you fear judgment in some way, but they're saying the benefits to you to speak up and say, hey, I need a little bit of aid on this. I can't do this alone, is worth maybe biting down some pride to get you out of this rut or out of this place that you feel so sick about. And it will help move you on to someplace better where you don't feel that way, if only you would just speak up about it, is what they're saying. They keep saying you need to talk. You need to speak up about it. Yeah, I don't know what this nausea is from, pile 2, but I mean, maybe while you're watching this, you have, I don't know, like say stomach flu or something, which my condolences if so, pile 2, but I think it's the situation at hand, though, that just makes you feel so sick. And that's why this past one loved one is reaching out, because they're like, I don't want them to feel that way anymore. Like, there's a way out. They don't have to feel so awful if they would just speak up about it. I mean, I almost even get maybe vibes that this passed on loved one is a guardian spirit of yours, pile 2. I feel like they're around you a lot and they look out for you a lot more closely than most passed on loved ones do. I don't know if maybe you see a lot of signs of this passed on loved one around you a lot, or if not, they're kind of, to me, they're indicating that they're around you a lot more than you think that they are. Yeah. But definitely speak out about it. And for some of you as well, there's a message about a medication that you're taking. Of course, I'm never really going to give, specific health advice on a tarot channel, because that's for you to discuss with your doctor, pile number 2. But there is something that they're saying about a medication that you're taking that could be tweaked or is causing something that you're not aware of is causing as a side effect. And so they want you to look into that, pile 2, to talk to your doctor about that, because it's like, and maybe that's where the nausea is coming from, pile 2. It's like a side effect of a medication that you're taking. And they're saying if you just would speak up about this thing, then 2, you could get better. Like move to a different medication that doesn't have that awful side effect, or one that works better for what you need it for, something along those lines. So there's a little bit of a health advice thing in here too from them. Yeah, and that's what I feel like. That's because there's such a close energy to you, such a guardian energy spirit around you, pile 2. That's why there's so many things coming through, is because they pay a lot close attention to your life than maybe you think that they do. I almost kind of see it like it's like they've got a clipboard and they go through that clipboard every single day and they're like, okay, I gotta check off the list on checking in on pile 2 with this area of their life, with this area of their life, and it's like they're checking off each one. I know, I don't know, maybe if you knew them in life earlier before they passed on, maybe they were very fond of like lists, checking things off. That's kind of what it feels like here, but it's like they go through a daily checklist with you. It's kind of funny, in a heartwarming way, because they look out for you, pile 2. But yeah, very beautiful energy here. So that is what I will leave you with today. Those are the messages that came through from this passed on loved one. Of course, as I always say, if you liked the reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our custom on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, November 1st, pile number 2. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading of Witchy Week about messages from a passed on loved one. As you recall, the pile leader you chose was Shadow Self. We have the figure looking up at the moon and a crow on an arch. Very, very gorgeous card. So as is our tradition, we'll set your pile leader over here to the left. And let's draw your oracle cards on screen right now. So, passed on loved one coming through for pile 3. Could you help guide us to the right cards to explain more about who you are to them, as well as what you want to say? This is very, very odd, pile 3, but there's something, you're going to laugh, but there's something intuitively coming forward about, like, a squeaky door that this person had, or, like, a squeaky chair. I know it's a very, very odd thing to come through, but it's like it could be something that they think that you would recognize them by. It's like they either had a chair that they used to sit in that was extremely squeaky, or is like a door that they always said that they would grease or fix up, but, like, the hinge always squeaked on it. Maybe the front door to their house, if you knew them while they were alive. Or maybe that's a story that kind of passed down through your family if they weren't alive when you were. Something about, yeah, squeaky door, squeaky chair. Very interesting. Very odd, but specific. Okay, there we go. We have the shepherd, celebration, and family. Oh, there's 2, actually. Okay. Shepherd and the twins. All right. And last but not least, from the Wild Harmonics. So with the shepherd, it could have been they were a farmer, or they raised livestock, or worked with wool, or perhaps, too, with the connotation of it being a family celebration. They were almost like the family shepherd. They kind of kept the family together and safe, and that was part of their life purpose. Beautiful. I'm sorry, there's also something coming through about they used to tease a lot. They had a good sense of humor, pile number 3. Very good sense of humor, whoever's coming through for you. Like, they would tease people, but you always knew it was lighthearted. Very, very cute. Alright, first up we have the Fire of Shadow snuffed out. I don't know if you have signs around your house where you tend to have, like, lights that flicker or candles that snuff out. Very specifically, it's like there's something about they interact with lighting in your house. So maybe if recently you've been having some odd things with, like, lights flickering, this is who this person is. Maybe they're just trying to warn you, like, hey, don't freak out. That's not any scary spirit. It's just me, right? Because sometimes when you have ghostly activity in your house, you're like, okay, is this something spooky, or is this just, like, a family member of mine messing with me, right? But yeah, snuffed out. I feel like they died very suddenly, too. With snuffed out as well. Maybe in their final years, too, they kind of not lost the will to live, but it's like a part of them kind of lost their spark. They couldn't do many things anymore. It's like they lost their fire a little bit. A lot of intuitive messages coming through with this one. And then, of course, like we saw, we have the element of earth with the shepherd, celebration, family. So very family-oriented, I feel like this person was to you. Or to their family around them. Very protective energy, especially of family. I might get a little cramped on the table here, so I'll try to fit everything. And then we have the twins with the element of water. Self-protection and dual natures. It could mean that they were a Gemini, because Gemini is the twins astrologically. But at the same time, I feel like they were very close with their siblings at the very least. Very close with siblings. Interesting things coming through. And then from the Moon Oracle one, we have gratitude. Okay. Someone who I think is very... They were generous is the word coming through. Someone who is very generous, pile number 3. And I think for most of you, I am leaning towards this being a masculine energy that is coming through for you. Some of you, it could be feminine, but this feels like a fatherly or a grandfather or uncle type energy coming through. Because of the amount of, it's like a masculine protectiveness type energy I'm feeling from whoever this is. They also seem very protective of you, is what I'm getting. And I think part of your relationship with them might have been a little bit, what's the word? I don't want to say confusing. Probably a better word would be maybe a little bit of a double-edged sword relationship that you had with them if they were alive when you were alive, pile 3. It's like, especially because I'm drawn to the nature of dual nature with the twins card here, it's like you got along with them really well in some ways, or they got along with other people really well in some ways, but then there also was a part of them that they had some issues. I mean, as we all do, of course, everybody's got issues, but it's like they specifically, it's something that they kind of regret regarding some of the shadow side of themselves, especially because, you know, not only did you get Fire of Shadow for them, right, which is a shadow attribute card in that particular deck, but you also have Shadow Self here. So I think part of it too is they're reaching out and they're kind of apologizing for maybe some of the things that they did that weren't so nice sometimes, because I think you have fond memories of them, don't get me wrong. I think they were someone who, yes, was protective and provided, and they were good to people, but at sometimes, too, they maybe didn't do the best things or said the best things, and so it's like they want you to know that... sorry, I'm getting a little... choked up myself. Sometimes with past on loved one readings, I tend to get choked up just because of the nature of them, right? It's like they want you to know that they're sorry for what the parts of them that weren't so good. Okay, the parts of them that were a little bit more shadowy, we'll call it. Because definitely empathically, I'm getting from this reading a feeling of sorrow. Okay, of shame a little bit. Guilt, maybe, is a better word from who this person is. And maybe, like I said, not just to you, but also it could be maybe to the other people in their life, especially maybe this is a passed on loved one that, you know, you didn't know yourself. Though I get the feeling for most of you that you did know this person, so, in your life, and it's like they weren't 100% bad, of course, but at the same time, there's a lot that they felt, especially because, you know, when we pass on, there's a lot of things that become very clear to us, right? Where when we pass to the other side, we let go of a lot of illusions, and we let go of things like ego and human flaws and nature. I mean, of course, you know, not every soul is perfect, and that's why, you know, at least in my personal belief, we reincarnate on Earth a lot, is because we come back to learn more things, but even just the slip between the precipice to the other side of the veil of death and to the other side, it's like we come to understand things we didn't understand when we were alive. And so this is what this past on loved one is talking about to you, pile 3, is they're saying, I understand now the effect that I had on you and others that wasn't necessarily the best. And like I said, it's that feeling of shame on their part for it because of what happened. Even as many as good traits as they did have, they're like, I need to reach out and I need to apologize for what I did in some aspects. Yeah, like I said, I am getting kind of choked up in this reading. I'm going to try not to cry on camera, but like I said, sometimes with past on loved one readings, I tend to get a little emotional because, you know, in fact, they're kind of my favorite readings to do, I'm going to be honest, because, you know, I do like reaching the other side for people. Especially with family. This feels like family to me, to you. So, it's good to be able to pass on those messages, especially when they're ones of apology, right? Because sometimes especially because I feel like this person died kind of suddenly, was snuffed out, it's like they didn't have time to say the things that they wanted to say in terms of apology. And so now that's why they're coming forward to tell you, okay, now that I have the chance, I'm sorry, you know, that kind of energy. Ooh, I'm getting choked up. I'll stop. All right, passed on love 1 for pile 3. Could you give me around 5 cards that explains more about what you want to talk to them about today? Thank you. Okay. There's 5. Let's unveil the cards together, pile 3. Because I feel like they came from a place of love, pile 3, but at the same time, yeah, there's just this anguish. They're like, I wish I could have said something before I passed, but I didn't have time. Yes, so revealing your cards, we have the Ace of Cups reversed, okay. Stifled emotions. The 7 of Swords reversed, okay. Coming clean, yep, Being honest. 5 of Wands, conflict, yeah. I mean, it's just kind of reiterating everything I said, pile 3. I'll try not to repeat too much, but a lot of this is similar. Yeah, death. Change. I've changed is what they're saying. And then we have the King of Wands. Yep, so masculine energy. Yep. So I'm going to say for about 99% of you, this is probably a masculine energy coming forward for you because of the King of Wands and what I was feeling before intuitively. They want to talk to you about, yes, some sort of coming clean, becoming honest with the 7 of Swords reversed, and then the 5 of Wands is about, like, a conflict of egos. I feel like maybe they had a bit of a temper sometimes. Maybe that's part of what they're ashamed about, that they're apologizing for to you. And sometimes they hurt relationships because of that, with that Ace of Cups reversed. And then we have, let's see, death. Is change. I've changed. So I think what they're working on in the other side right now, because the way that I have heard it described when it comes to the work that we do after we pass on, a lot of times we have life reviews. That's number 1. That's what pops out a lot in a lot of near-death experience type things that are reported. But at the same time, I've also heard a lot from people on the other side that there's work that they do in terms of preparing for their next life, reviewing the past life that they just lived. And it's like a lot of the work they're doing right now is to rectify and change with death here that temper that they had, that ego issue that they had that would bring them in conflict with other people. And that's part of why they're reaching out, is they're in that classroom, we'll say it is the metaphor we'll use, of learning to overcome those mistakes that they made, is how I'll put it, in the life that they lived with you, pile 3. And definitely, I feel like they had... Let me look at the elements again here. We have water, we have earth. Definitely feels like they were a water sign. But they were a water sign that was tempered with a lot of fire. And when I say fire, once again, that's someone who is creative, someone who is passionate about things, someone who is, maybe sometimes it flares up as a bit of a temper or ego, but yeah. And it feels like there's something very specific that they want to apologize for, though, pile 3. I'm going to actually just draw some extra cards, because most of what came out with this first spread of tarot was just them reiterating what I already had picked up before, was, hey, there's something I want to come clean about the conflicts I had, and I've changed, and I want you to know that. So let me see. It passed on love 1 for pile 3. Could you give us about 3 cards that explains more about what it is that you want to apologize for? Thank you. Oh boy. A lot. It's like every card piling out. Alright, I apologize, but I can't take that many cards. Let's shuffle that again. do that again. Okay. Could have just been a poor shuffle on my part, but they're like, well, I have a lot to apologize for it now. 3 cards, please. Thank you. There we go. Probably a better shuffle on my end. What do they want to apologize for? Page of Cups. 3 of Wands reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Lots of pages. There's some sort of immaturity on their part because of the presence of a lot of pages. Pages are like the students or the children of the tarot deck. And so it's like they were immature about something when it came to plans for the future. With the 3 of Wands reversed, it's like they had stopped you from going after a dream or following some sort of path of yours with the 3 of Wands reversed, or it's like they put down a dream of yours when they were alive. And they're saying the reason was because there was, especially with that Page of Wands reversed, they were thinking about it more emotionally than they were thinking about it in terms of what makes you feel alive, or like your passions, pile 3. And they always felt guilty about it, especially after the change of the illusion of death, right? They're like, God, I feel bad that I didn't encourage them more in that direction. And definitely, like I was saying with the abundance of pages, it's like if I had to summarize it in one sentence, it's like they're saying I was a child. Okay. Like when I should have been an adult is what they're saying. I was a child when I should have been an adult. And I'm sorry is what they're saying. And looking closer here, it's going to be just a spot of silence here as I look closer at these cards. Actually, I'm going to look at this 3 of Wands more close to my eyes here. It's like some sort of agreement too, or like it was a lack of agreement. And you wanted something, and it's like they didn't encourage you, or they didn't take the steps to help you get there, and they felt bad about it. Yeah. And so pile 3, if that was something that really hurt you about this person when they were alive, whatever it was that happened here, with the immaturity and then the dreams for the future type aspect, they really want you to know of course, you always forgive on your own time, right? But they do feel bad about what happened in that situation. And they're working on their shadow self up there right now with things and mistakes that they made in the life that they lived. And they're also saying that, looking at your Citadel Oracle one more time, apologies, let's see, self-protection, dual natures, and then we have celebration and family. There's something that they're grateful for as well, they're saying. What is it that they're grateful for? I'm going to draw some extra cards on that as well for you, pile 3. Past and loved one. Can you explain with about 3 cards or so, what are you grateful for from pile 3? Thank you. What are you trying to thank them for? The Emperor reversed. Justice reversed. I feel like there was a way in that you stood up for them. God, look at all those major arcana. Wow. And the Hanged Man reversed. They're thanking you for the way that you changed their perspective on something that was being unfair to them. Like, it's like someone was trying to take advantage of them, or someone was trying to trample over their rights or what was fair to them, and you helped them see that they were being taken advantage of. And you helped protect them and make sure that they got their fair shake. And then the Emperor reversed is like negative masculine energy. I want to say it's possible you protected them from a masculine figure with the Emperor reversed that was negative. Could have been you protected them from like a male family member of theirs. And it's like, as hard as it was, it's like you were able to help protect them. You were like a guardian of some sort. And they're thanking you for that. For helping them see things from a different perspective so that they wouldn't be taken advantage of and things would not be unfair to them. Maybe you even helped them in legal ways. That's sometimes how the Justice card can embody itself. And then, yes, that Emperor is that masculine energy of protection and authority and order. It's like when they couldn't defend themselves anymore, you helped defend them. That's what they're thanking you for. So kind of a heavy reading today, pile 3. A good one. I'm very glad to have given it, but at the same time, it was... whoever is coming forward for you is very they want to make sure that you walk away from this reading feeling lighter of heart, okay? Because of the things that they've said, that they've apologized for and thanked you for. Very beautiful reading, pile 3. So that is what I will leave you with today. As always, if you liked this reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings like this for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of, if you're watching this the day it pops out, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 3. Bye.